What's going on, guys? Kingfisher here. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how I made this sample, sort of in the style of Frank Dukes, Cubeatz, or something you'd find off drumbroker.com. These types of samples often have live instruments such as guitar, piano, live vocal runs, and then are often processed through tape, which gives it that really cool vintage feel and gives it an awesome texture by the end of it. With that being said, I want to show you guys my process on how I would make one of these types of samples. So the first element that I added to this melody was a classical guitar. The chord progression only consisted of 2 chords, and I used a triplet plucking pattern to get a cool rhythm going. So I recorded that bass melody twice, and then panned it left and right to get some variation and to give the melody more of a stereo image so that I could build off it more easily. Recordings before the 1930s were all in mono because stereo recordings hadn't been invented yet. However, I wanted to give the option of having a very stereo imaged sample because you could always bring that sample back to mono afterwards. The effects that I put on the guitar consisted of a Wolf compressor by Goodhertz, the Volcano 2 plugin to add a cool filtered effect, and a parametric EQ to cut out the highs and the lows in the sample. The next element of the sample that I added was a vocal that I recorded myself and then processed to make it sound more vintage. So the effects chain that I have for the vocals consists of auto-tune, a little alter boy where I decreased the formant to bring out the lower frequencies in the vocals. Then I added a filter freak, which made it sound more like it was coming out of a radio, parametric EQ to cut out the highs and lows, and then just a standard reverb to make it sound more ambient. So the next element that I added to the sample was a wing upright piano from Omnisphere. I played the same chords that the guitar was playing, but made sure to strum the notes and change up the velocity so it made it seem like an actual piano player was playing the sample. For the piano, I just threw a Wolf compressor on the channel because I thought it sounded great the way it was. So the next element that I added to the sample was a choir sound from Omnisphere. I thought it added another element of ambience and made the sample sound a little bit more creepy and haunting. So the next element that I added to the sample was a flute from the Roland Orchestra VST. I thought this added a very cool lead line and really brought the sample to life. So the final element that I added to the sample was a synth bass from Omnisphere. A good way to make a sample sound less simple is to switch up the rhythms in the sections that you add. This makes the sample sound more intricate without overcrowding it, making it difficult for an artist to record or a producer to lay down drums on top of it. The final element was structuring out the sample, and then laying out the stems afterwards so that a producer can chop it up and rearrange it in whatever order they see fit. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's my process on how I would make a vintage style sample in this style of Cubeatz Frank Dukes, something you'd find on drumbroker.com. It'd be awesome if you guys could follow me on my social media in the description below. With that being said, peace out.